On this music production tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make house-style vocals, whether it's for tech house, deep house, G house, whatever style you want to do. This is my track, Hot Cross Buns. I know some shameless self-promotion. I'm going to play you a little bit of it, and you can see I have the vocals right here.
Hot cross buns, girl, drop it low. Let me see you work that dough. Hey, girl, drop it low. Let me see you work that dough. Hey, girl, drop it low. Let me see.
So a bit of a cheesy record, I'm not gonna lie. You know, obviously when it comes to Hot Cross Buns, we all played it when we were younger on the recorder. Maybe the first song most of us ever played. Also, this is my album cover for this record. Definitely one of the best album covers I've made in a while. Now, the first thing you want to do when it comes to these vocals is I find it's easier making the melody first. So I'm going to mute this. So the first thing I did is just kind of create the main drop sequence without any vocals in general. So I'm going to have this here.
Hot cross buns.
Right. So at this point now, I'm like, okay, I have like the general bass, I have the drop and everything. Now I'm gonna add the vocals. So of course, the next thing you have to do is then record them. So I'm gonna actually bring this over here, all right? I'm gonna take all this kind of stuff off. When it comes to recording the vocals, you don't have to have this crazy expensive microphone like I use my Blue Yeti. If you don't have a microphone, I'm not making this up, use the voice memo app on your phone. I've used that for a lot of my songs when it comes to using these vocals. And what's interesting is I think that the voice memo app on your, like, say, iPhone, just recording it like this, is actually better quality than the built-in microphone on your computer, right? Obviously, it depends on your computer and everything, but you'd be surprised how good quality that is. So when I record the vocals, here's how the dry ones came out. So these are my exact vocals I made. So let's go here, all right? So here's how it sounds.
Hey girl, drop it low. Let me see you work that dough. Hey girl, drop it low.
I know, some cheesy vocals, but that's kind of the vibe I was going for on this song. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down here to warp. After you click warp, it will typically automatically be on complex or beats or whatever. I suggest putting it on complex pro. So it's gonna look like this. The next thing I'm gonna do is remove the formants down to 0. I'll show you why in a little bit. Then I'm going to go to pitch. The biggest thing when it comes to house-style vocals in terms of the ones I just showed you is they're pitched down a lot typically. So let's say I'm going to go to, I think it was 6 I did here. So I'm going to go down to 6. This is more personal taste. So let's say I do 3, right?
Hey girl, drop it low. Let me see you.
Not bad, but I like kind of the deeper vibe. So here.
Hey girl, drop it low.
That to me sounds a lot more housey. Now, if I turn the formants up, and this gets kind of technical, so I'm trying to oversimplify this video, what it tries to do is keep the original elements of the sample intact, and sometimes it comes out really nice, other times it doesn't. So if I turn these up 100%,
Hey girl, drop it low. Let me see you work that dough.
it just has a very different vibe to it. That might work depending on kind of the ambiance you're going for in your track, but to me,
Hey girl.
this just sounded a lot more housey. So once I have the pitch down and the formants down, that's kind of the bulk of what you have to do. I'm being honest. It's not as much work as you think. Then the next thing you have to do is quantize it. So I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to go to the actual ones. So you can see here that I actually had to quantize it a bit because obviously things have to be in sync. So if I put on my metronome on Ableton.
Hey girl, drop it low. Let me see you work that dough. Hey girl, drop it.
Right, once I have the right vocal line done, I just kind of like copy and paste it like so. Next, we're going to go to the actual processing because this is what we have here right now.
Cross buns, girl, drop it low. Let me see you work that dough. Hey girl, drop it.
So we're going to add a couple different things. First, let's start with the Q2. So when it comes to EQing it, I like to roll out all the bass. This is very common for a lot of elements in your song. You don't want the low end to be interfering with any other low ends in the song, especially the bass. So it's going to go from this, just to show you,
Hey girl, drop it low. Let me see
to this.
you work that dough. Hey girl, drop it low. Let me see.
Because even though the bass went away, it's going to be replaced by the bass and the kick and other low-end elements I have in the song. The next is I'm going to use the Ozone Imager 2. What I want to do is make this a bit more wide. Because when I play this here, it's very mid and very centered in the track.
Hey girl, drop it low.
But when I add this, I add some stereo width to it, so it sounds like this now.
Hey girl, drop it low.
Right.
Let me see you work that dough. Hey.
So it's a bit wider, so it sounds a bit more full in the overall mix. Then lastly, I like to add a light chorus. This just adds a really cool vibe to it, so playing it again without it, and then I'm going to turn it on.
Hey girl, drop it
Now
low.
add this in.
Let me see you work that dough. Hey.
And you also hear it gets a bit wider as well, especially in case you didn't know, the order of the audio effects you have in Ableton is the order of the signal. So because I have chorus here and then the ozone imager too, this is already making it a bit wider, and then this takes that wideness and pushes it even a little bit further. So it sounds like this now.
Hey girl, drop it low. Let me see you work that dough. Hey.
So now in the overall mix,
Hey girl, drop it low. Let me see you work that dough. Hey girl, drop it low. Let me see you work that dough. Hey girl.
now, another cool thing you can do is adding reverb. I tested it out here. I personally didn't like it. But let's go up here to these ones. So in the beginning of the song, it sounds like this.
Drop it low. Drop it low.
Right? Now, if let's say I want to make this song have a very deep vibe to it, reverb is excellent for this. So personally, in this particular song, I didn't like the way this sounded, but again, it depends on what you're going for. Especially for any deep house style record, I'll add reverb to the vocals. So now, it adds a very different vibe. Now it's gonna sound like this. Turn this decay up. So I'll parallel process my reverb, turn the decay up, let's say to, I'll do 3 seconds in terms of decay. Decay is the biggest thing. So it's gonna sound like this now. A little too much. Bring this down here. Right, that sounds now a lot deeper. So if I even want to make it like even more deep, Von deeper, put this here on the Orbits. I actually reviewed this FreeVST plugin previously on this channel. So now it's just like this. Right, that has a bit more of a deep, deep vibe. And in addition, I don't like some of that high end, so I'd probably do this. Probably EQ just the reverb section. Solo this. I kind of want to do this. And maybe even take out... You go here. Yeah, okay, I like that better. So now... Oh, no, gotta... Okay, now let's do it. Right, that to me has a better sound to it than all this kind of muddiness with the mid-range and the high end as well of the reverb. And I might even increase this a bit now that I like the EQ. I can even add a delay if I want to, so I'm gonna bring in a delay as another chain, drive it up, keep it on that, fade, might do this. Probably bring it down to maybe about, I don't know, 5 decibels, kind of guessing right now. That adds now another very deep-ish style vibe. Again, it depends on the vibe you want. I might even break this down a little bit more, I'm not gonna lie. Right? So if I, let's say, want to make my drop more of a deep house drop, as opposed to just like a general house drop, I could solo this. I'm gonna mute the original vocals, bring this in here. Right, so now it sounds like this when it drops.
Hot cross buns.
Right? Has a lot more of a deep house vibe.